Hola. Hello. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Um, hopefully you can hear me. Hey, my nuts. What is going on? I know I have been. Hi, Margaret. I have been off for 2 weeks. It's been a rough 2 weeks. You know, of the 2 weeks, I probably have been, semi okay. Maybe 4 days. So I'm here. I'm feeling a little bit better, but you could probably hear some kind of tug in my throat. So I'm trying, battling that. If you guys watch Rebecca on Monday, you will see that what I have been up to is crafting. We did a Lego. No, I have not touched the Lego since that day. Um, I did not finish, but if you guys can tell, I did get the first portion, the car wash, and I'm almost done with the car. So I will say, my channel says, my crafting addiction. So it doesn't hone in on just one craft. And so when I do get the opportunity to try something else, I will give it, the old heave ho. And the reason is because you never know if you're gonna like something unless you give it a try. Hola, Mary! Thank you for coming out. So, with that said, I have tried. If you've been with me for a while, like Mutton Up probably definitely knows this. I have tried everything from not only just playing with clay, but planners. We did wood burning, tiny houses. I laugh because the tiny house phase, that was like a blink of the eye. It was so quick. And when I tell you, you know how people march for unity? Lord, all you had to do was sign up to do a tiny house adventure with us. Everybody packed their stuff up with unity and high five one another as they gave the old heave ho and oh hell no to ever doing one of those again. Um, one of my favorite artists, their their YouTube artist, YouTube creator, Blink It Up. She uh she will quit an activity in style. When I say style, she will pack up all the items that she bought for the activity or for the craft, and she will hand it all back to the original creator who gave her the idea in the first place. So, so shout out to Bling It Up because one of the first retreats that I seen her at, she was coming across the event room to hand Rebecca all the yarn she had bought for a yarn event that Rebecca hosted. And she was marching with purpose too. And she had that bright light in her face. And she literally said, "Hey, Rebecca. And then here, because I know I'm not going to be doing it. So here you go. And handed her all the items right back. So that was real fun to see. Hello, Joanna. Long suffering made a tiny Lego Star Wars. Okay. Oh, man. I did have some fun. It kind of took my, mind away from anything else that, might have been going through. The tiny house was a big hell no for me just seeing it. So we had a huge group. This was our second time trying. The first time a lot of us got together in like Zooms. And so we got together in Zooms. The Zooms would be like six of us like clocking in for work. Everybody taking lunch breaks and things together. I think it was Rachel Ray that came in and she said she felt like an electrician. And I told her, I feel like a roofer. Because, like, in these tiny little establishments, you really are like laying your own electricity. And then, in a tiny way, you laying your own thatched roof and worrying about, consistency for insulation on a tiny house. So, hey, sissy. So, like the tiny house movement, it didn't last long in our crafting, group. I mean, we was in and out. People was jumping off the boat midstream, um, including the host. So at the time, me, Rebecca, and Crashly were the hosts of a tiny house event, and we had a chat room. It was a large community, and I feel bad because when we jumped off the boat, we kind of left everybody who was trying to chat and get tips and things. Like, we didn't even continue to follow up and say, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. No, this is how you make a thatch roof. And so people were further getting frustrated. Oh, oh goodness gracious. So, hello, Melinda. How you doing? Bonnie. So I was just talking about how crafting, I just don't stop at one. I've tried several, and the catastrophe behind when I tried tiny houses. So that was definitely fun. I think we're doing, I can't even remember if it was supposed to be a month event or a 60-day event. I just remember we didn't even make it, maybe a week, maybe. I don't even think we made it a week because Crashly was done within 3 days and left the enthusiasm to me and Rebecca, and we already didn't have a lot of enthusiasm. There was a million parts. There was a million pieces. We had an authentic one. It was like wood and good steel, not just, wire, like not a safety pin wire. It was like good steel, like we was going to put this up for model houses or something. And it was very frustrating. So just going to point out to you guys, what was maybe the most frustrating craft that you guys have tried? That was that was definitely a mess. So Rebecca and I were doing the same one. It was like a camper and things. As much as you guys hear me talk about RVs and loving RVs, and that would have been so ideal, to put one on the front and one on the back of our RV. I couldn't get past them doggone stools. So it was like real steel. That's all I could remember. It was like, is this RH12? I was trying to like check the fire rating and things. That's how real these little tiny houses feel. So you turn into contractors. What about you guys? What is the worst craft that you've tried? And did you just give up? Did you send the craft back, hand over supplies? That was my most frustrating. That and rock painting when I when I glued my fingers together. Rock painting was definitely up there. For me, it was resin and clay. I just lost the spark to do it. Oh, Melinda says, my daughter got me one of those book nook things for Christmas. I'm having trouble getting a little plant in the little planter pot. Oh, when we were at the retreat 2 years ago, was it 2 years? It might even been, yeah, it was 2024. And everybody, we were in a classroom and they asked a question for everybody to come up and kind of speak on, at the welcome. So one of the questions was, what was the worst craft that you'd ever tried? And then they coupled that with the best craft. And so obviously you guys know, but hands down, tiny houses was the one almost everybody was saying. A lot of people, initially was going to say diamond paint, or you would assume this is a diamond painting retreat. So you would assume that their answers would be diamond painting is their best craft. A lot of times cross stitch would follow that because their patterns can be interchangeable. You might hear crochet and things. What I found to be the surprise craft, and I loved it because it was my favorite, was junk journaling. And I don't know why. It was so much fun. And just, I really love junk journaling. So we took a class in junk journaling. And as people were coming up introducing themselves, they were saying that they took the class too and that that was their favorite craft. And so that to me was like the surprise craft. A lot of people, said it. And so that if I had to pick would be my choice for one of the most fun, new crafts. What about you guys? Now, you guys know I just tried Legos and I loved it. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, I've done cross stitch conversion. That was different. I play with clay, planners, coloring, cross stitch, crochet. Although you don't see me do it very often, I can crochet very well. Um, and what else? Well, that's seven. I said planners. I believe I said planners and things. So that's like seven crafts right there. We have others like scrapbooking. I never did that. Knitting. Um, it's been a while. I haven't knitted in probably over 30 years. So, those are my favorites. Out of those, do you have any that are your most favorite? Something new that you might have tried or your least favorite? I see this one all the time, but I've never done it. That's where they do like the paint pour. They have paint pour classes here. Obviously you could go out and you can do a wine and paint, or sip and dip, or whatever they're calling them. You can do those. But they also have paint pouring, resin pour, and some other, different studios and things like that. So a lot that you can do artwork wise and crafting wise. Um, Diamond painting is the only craft I have stuck with longer than a year. Oh, okay. Joanna says, what do you do with a junk journal? They go on a shelf to dust. So Joanna, some of the ones that we saw and we were making, you could put pockets in them, and you can, put little different things inside the pocket. So let's say I used to have what I call a conversation section in my home when my kids were little. And if somebody came over, salesperson or something like that, I had an area. It was down in the foyer, but it was like what I called a conversation area. And two people can sit there and you can, kind of yuck it up. It was 2 seats. It was real nice. I could see me putting a couple junk journals in there and maybe swapping out what was inside the pockets on different pages and things. And that was the beauty of junk journaling. You could kind of make it your own. You could have a page dedicated to this, a page dedicated to that. It was just about like taking different pieces of paper, different patterns, different things that it could even been cut up pieces of newspaper. Just different things that you like, that you see that could add texture or borders or, add to something that your own creativity is making. It was just a lot of fun, especially as you looked at other people's creativity and you saw that, oh, that was a good idea. I didn't even think to do this. It just was a lot of fun. Let's see. Butnut says, I may pick coloring back up now that I have my new printer to print out some cool pages. I do like to print coloring pages. Joanna says, pencil coloring and sketching always makes me happy. I love to freehand sketch, self-taught artist, but it started in 6th grade. We're going into middle school, and I'll never forget my art teacher. When he went through lines, shading, and then perspective, you could not have told me with those basic tips that I wasn't a newfangled artist. I've never, ever created anything monumental, but I see the vision when I look at what I see it like, oh, it's so bright. And someone could say, what is this mumble jumble? And I'm like, oh, you don't see it. That's the moon. It's that's the backdrop right there. It's glistening off of, that's water. So I could see, the vision of things that I create on paper. I just don't know if anybody else would be able to see it. My least favorite is cross stitch, Bonnie says. Takes me way too long, and I always stick my finger with the needle. They do have these new blunt tip needles, Bonnie. I love them because that used to be my problem also. I've been buying those now for about 4 years. Once I came back in real hard and heavy, and then obviously I'm trying to have a ready set amount of things to go in every project bag. So all I need to do is just put the project in there and the floss. I have a floss box, so I just keep my floss box stocked. But yeah, the needles blunt tip and they don't hurt. You can come up out, hit yourself, and you're just stopping the needle. So hopefully that's a helpful tip. Melinda says, I went through cookie decorating phase a while back. Ooh, that's probably a real yummy phase to go through. You ever move near here? How about I help you pick that phase back up? Uh, she said, oh, I mean my least favorite. Okay. Oh, man. Sounds messy. Yeah, kind of. Oh, we have a connection. Uh-oh. There we go. Everybody is connecting. Everyone's saying hi to Mutnut. All right. So, with that said, obviously we went over the least favorite and we went over my favorite. Did you guys go shopping? Anybody shop this weekend? And not just diamond paintings. Obviously, diamond paintings they come up first and foremost. But I'm hearing that the quality on Temu is all that. And while as creators, we are always careful of what artwork we display and things like that. I will say that if you're reading through the description, or it shows an actual picture of what was received, poured glue, the clear glue, you can definitely tell it's coming with the, see-through cellophane, covering and things like that. And if it's full coverage, long as, it's a decent size, probably starting at maybe 40 by 40 or 40 by 50, it should come out decent enough. I mean, it can't have too much detail, at a 40 by 40 or 40 by 50, it still will be a little blurry. But I'm finding that, when I see people posting online, they don't know any better. They might not be aware of licensed artwork and things. I'm not seeing the quality as being horrible. Now, a few years ago, probably 5 years ago, when everybody was on AliExpress, before shopping domestically or at Temu or Amazon, was a reality. You did have to worry about the quality of the canvases that you were receiving, and rightfully so, because, those canvases were really, really cheap. I remember I bought 96 canvases from AliExpress, and I think it cost me like $160 or something like that. uh, yep. And I remember that order was huge. Them diamonds, oh my goodness, I felt like diamond paintings was coming and descending upon me. Yep. Those are the ones that I find myself using when I'm doing volunteer work with kids and things. I find myself grabbing from those because those was, when you first get into diamond painting, you're in that cutesy phase and everything's just, oh, it's cute and it's $4. Oh, it's cute, or if you buy 17 of them, you get, $32 off. So I was in that phase. And it was coming in, from China. The funny part about that is back then, we know it's going to take a while to finish this one. You might be on your third one. So, it's going to take a while to finish this one. So you didn't mind ordering, and waiting for China because now about the amount of time. When they all come in, I don't know why. But everybody always place like on that third or fourth one, they place a big order of diamond paintings. And I don't understand why we never stop at that one. This order comes in. This 96 diamond painting, 96 cute little, a lot of them were Mayan, ever moment, things like that. So you get all of these diamond paintings, that are coming in from, the different stores. And I never look at them, and nobody with a big stash does and says, whoop, I'm done here. Lord, I'm glad I got these off my back now. That's all I need. None of us say that and stop there. Every last one of us get those and be like, there must be more to be had. And we all go out and buy more. So, uh, so yeah, definitely wanted to share that with you. Joanna says, I think I want to hire someone to do some of these diamond paints. Melissa B. Craft with Me offered herself out to the world about 5 years ago. She has a channel. She lives here in Vegas. And she said, it's, during the pandemic, it was getting hard. Like, it's hard to, buy diamond paintings. We have household responsibilities. But if anybody out there is needing someone to do the diamond paintings for them, you can hire me. I said it might not be a wise idea right now, but I knew it was going to get to that point. It's definitely going to get to that point. You're going to have people who, like me, I feel like I have an awesome stash, and I'm not at a point where, my stash needs to be destashed. Because I like to go through mine. Most of mine are still sealed in boxes. I have very few that have come out of the boxes and like gone. I do have a portfolio, two of them. So the 96 from AliExpress, because, of how they came in and stuff, most of them are in, the first portfolio. And I have their diamonds in a tote somewhere. Those diamonds will probably never be touched because they're the ones that's got nibs and things like that on them. But I still keep them because when I volunteer with the kids in the community, I'm trying to teach them a craft event, especially in the cooler months, because they don't have anything to do and they can't go outside and play. So I do normally, donate those earlier ones. I might have, 6 or 7, especially the larger ones, and, 2 or 3 people working on them and things like that. They come back a second or a third time, then whoever came the most usually and worked on that one canvas usually will get to be the one to take it home. I usually don't get a lot of repeats. So whoever the second time that shows up is the one who usually gets to take the canvas. But yeah, that's what I've been doing with that stash. Let's see. Muttnut says she is on a no-buy till the end of the month. Joanna's the girl. T-Boo took us for a summer ride, and I still need smaller swimsuits. You got clothes off of there? Oh my gosh. I'm so leery when it comes to buying clothes from because Wish taught everybody lessons. People was walking around like, oh, you got a wish I wouldn't have outfit. Oh, it was crazy. So obviously people moved from Wish over to AliExpress. And we were more mindful. At the same time, people were, branching out to Amazon and things like that. And so I find that once you find a manufacturer on Amazon, stick with that, if you're going to buy anything like shirts or, dresses and things. But I don't know about Temu because a lot of people say their clothes is all like polyester. So if you sew, some of our sewers out here in crafting land, it may not be the type of polyester like from 76 to 84. But it's this like white lining, polyester that's on the inside, the dresses. And I feel like it impacts I like a snatched dress, something that helps soothe out or smoothen out, the wrinkles. um, And so I find that that type of polyester don't smooth out anything. It enhances. We don't want anything that enhances. Joanna said, yeah, I may have a problem. Marquita says, my first time in painting came from Diamond Art Club, and I bought two. Okay. Um, First time you painted came from Diamond Art Club. Oh, and you have two of them. Always buy two diamond paintings, a latch hook, a rug kit. Hey, bling it up. We was just talking about you a little earlier. Confession. I ordered a custom this weekend. Woo. I sold six this weekend. The Richard Lorenz are flying. Yeah, I figured those would. Like, he's a lot of people's favorite artists. From what I have won, been gifted, or bought, I have a stash of 187 canvases that are budget and licensed canvases. Okay, what size do the children like? Smaller? Um, it all depends on like how long my event's gonna be. So if it's a 2 or 3 hour event, then I'm probably, and I know that I'm doing the second event, as a crafting event as well, then I'll probably take them like nothing more than a 40 by 50. Most of the back then when I was buying those canvases, most of them I had a couple 15 by 20s. And those I would take if I thought the group was just going to be one day, like the first Saturday, because I can do up to 3 events a month. Um, so I would do like a bunch of the 15 by 20s and stuff. But most of the time, it's like a 40 by 50 or a 30 by 40, because those were the sizes back then that was like $3, $4, $3, $4 here. Get a discount off if you spend this much and stuff. Um, but yeah, so I think it's not if they like them smaller or not. It has to do with what I bring to answer that question. Temu does have great sweaters. Oh, and my woobies. I can tear them up and not care. I don't know what woobies are, but I have some beautiful stuff from Temu. I knew Rebecca was gonna be their number one fan. Did I hear snatched? Yes, you did. I gotta get even more. I gotta hit the sit ups and stuff like that. But uh, okay, I think I have something for you. Okay, Joanna. Marquita says, I just buy what I need. I don't buy a whole lot at once. I can understand that. I am the type of person when it comes to starting an event. I don't know why. I don't know why. I want to say I got this from my dad because when we were kids, he would do this. But I want everything that I need for that, whether I ever get to it or not. So a few years ago, anybody in the cross stitch community and stuff, they might have known that I bought this Disney pattern. The pattern was $85. And the pattern is really big. It's like all of the Disney family. It's each character in the Disney cartoon. And then there is an outer scroll work lining that will probably take years. And I went out and got all the floss. I downloaded the pattern in 4 different ways. I downloaded the full version. I downloaded all the pages, just chopped up one by one. It's like 4 different versions. And then I downloaded the digital copy so I can use it in any digital piece. After I did all of that, I have everything that the pattern needs in several different ways. Some people are paper pattern, and I had wanted to gift this to other people, creators that might want to do the project with me. One by one, each of y'all bailed. I'm not going to name names because you got a channel. But I gave the pattern out as gifts so that we can co-collab, and then pretty much just looked at it and kept it going. But I had to have everything for this pattern. Everything. The floss. I already have the project bag, perfect project bag. I bought two, not one, but two. The fabric is huge. It's like 3 yards by 4 yards. It's huge because that's how big it is. It'll probably be enough to put onto a giant, blanket, maybe a queen size blanket at the end. That's how big the project is. Long story short, after all that, I then went back, laid the project out, and went back to the store and then bought like glitter floss. You guys know I'm always trying to bling. I love bling, love bling. And so I went back to Stitcher's Paradise here in Las Vegas and bought glitter floss and metallic floss and some glitter seed beads so that even after I do the trellis and the edge work along the outskirts, that I could still add, replace out some floss and add in my own bling. So that's how over the top it is for me, and then I'll have this stuff just kitted up and sitting there waiting so that one day, probably somewhere close to 2052, one day she shall be freed, and the gift will have been completed. Maybe, baby, maybe, baby. uh, so yeah, that's definitely true. I don't buy what I need. I buy it all at once, and it'll be here. Toolkits. Okay, saw that monster and turned and ran. Oh, I'm missing a good conversation Joanna having. She said, I don't know what a whoopee is. So how much did you get done? I showed it at the beginning. Are you talking to me, sis? I showed it at the beginning. So I know you probably was just a little late. I didn't finish my car. I got to put the wheels on. The steering wheel got to go in. But the seats are already in. That's the seats right there. And then there is a gas pump that I'll be putting in so that I could get gas out of this pump. So Joanna said, keep hope alive, girl. What we hoping for? I think I'm missing Joanna's whole conversation, but it sounds like it's a whole lot better than anything that's going on. So no, I meant the monster cross stitch. Oh, that's the Disney project. So you're wanting to know, did I get it done? No. So last year, the cross stitch community had this. They are the complete opposite. I know you guys always hear Lizzie chiding me and saying, hey, did you finish? I know you'll start a diamond painting. Did you finish? They're the complete opposite. They're like, hey, you buy these projects. All you need to do is just start the project. And that's it. So last year they had a 105 starts, just little nudge-a-thon, I call it. It's designed to kind of nudge you along to just get a project started. So in counting out my Disney characters, there, you're starting every Saturday, a new one, a new project every Saturday, every Sunday. So, and that would have amounted to 105 for 2024. Oh, I believe it was 2020, it might have been 2023. But I started, and every Saturday, every Sunday, that's, going to be a start. I got to like 13 or 14, starting a new character every Saturday, every Sunday. And I was trying my hardest I had to put like glasses or something on a character, and I couldn't get the sizing was off. And I keep looking at the pattern, and I had flubbed back on like character number 3. And I had to frog all the way back. Frogging means you made a mistake and you got to take out all of the floss between where you made the mistake and wherever you are. Sorry if that's a lot. But if you want your numbers to add up and align, then you have to go back. And so by the time I frogged all the way back to like character 3, it was time to put it up. I remember taking the floss out, folding it up like I was done, and I might have been. And I put it right on back in the project bag. This is a project bag, and some of them can be thick because of the projects that you might have inside, so they big. The see-through is supposed to have a pattern out here so you know what's in there, but here's another project bag. So they're real easy to grab. Just get everything's supposed to be inside. Well, I keep everything inside mine, so I'm ready to go. The goal right now is to put like at least 2 different pair of readers inside. So I'm trying to fill each project bag up with readers at this point. But yeah, just give me a project bag. Everything is ready to go. All the floss that I need for the project is in there. And for whatever reason, even if I don't ever get to the project. And it's a cute project bag. It's cute that it's ready to go. So I think I'm buying definitely for I would say aesthetic, but for me, it's just art. It's, how I appreciate art. I like to see packaging and observe packaging. What better packaging to have a project bag that caught your eye, that's holding your project and is holding everything in there so that when you do want to get to it, everything's ready to go. I love my project bags. They stay closed and packed away neatly. Exactly. Now, we went to 2 retreats, the Lone Star retreat. They got us these bags with these metal intakes. I love them because they make great holders. So, I mean, they are huge. And I could probably take 10 of these and line them up and just sit them inside those bags. And then you got 10 projects already packed up and kitted up, ready to go. And you sit them on the side of your favorite lounger, your favorite, love seat, or wherever you craft or cross stitch at. Again, they just stay ready to go. And I feel like, they help with taking up less room and stuff. So that's what I like about them. That's how I plan to use those craft bags. And I do love to have everything packed and ready to go. What about you guys? Now, I say that, and we're using cross stitch. Obviously, these are fabric that can be folded up. They take up sometimes a lot less space than diamond painting. But I did get asked a week or 2 ago about how many diamond paintings do I have kitted up. I'm probably going to say close to 12 or 13, and I'm going to explain the why. Yes, mine are lined up in the Lone Star Retreats holder. I love those holders, and they so big. And when you could I had one where I was putting a long Ada, and then I was like, why am I wasting? I could put the Ada somewhere else. Ada can be ironed before you use it. Quit wasting your space. And so I set my second one up. But yeah, I do like the holders. They were great ideas. Whoever came up with it, shout out to the Lone Star Retreat staff there, because that is a great idea. Oh, I have a horde of them. Love a good bag. I know that's right. Mutna says, I have been working on organizing my craft space. Yes, Melinda, I'm a professional organizer. I love prepping projects. My daughter is in the process. I think I showed you guys a few weeks ago. It was on my phone. My daughter is in the process of turning our spare bedroom into what she calls a craft studio for me. And what I like about it is when I go in there, there is a lounger. And she said crochet, but I knew what she meant. She said this you can lay and you can just crochet with your feet up. And she got like these ramps that she has put on the back. I call them ramps because that's what they look like, ramps. But I guess they're supposed to like hug the wall and stuff so you can lounge back on them. It was a cute idea and stuff. And so obviously the goal is that I sit back, lounge, and then cross stitch or crochet, as she says. Then at the end, there is going to be an area to put like the cross stitch bag so that projects can go in there. I have a desk for my clay projects that I can kind of leave right then and there, just set up. There's another desk where diamond paintings can go. The tray slides out, you can put like the good thing is you can put like whatever the pen is that you're using, you can leave your tray, leave your diamond, slide the tray back in. Never thought to kind of set a desk up like that. Obviously, the diamond painting can stay on top. So I don't have to worry like I do in here, swapping out, the craft area or the craft that I'm wanting to work on. If you do multiple crafts, down in the box, do you have designated place? And I know we talked about this maybe a few months ago. Do you have designated place where you do a particular craft, or are you having to swap out your craft, for other items and stuff? Because I believe when I spoke to other people, they said, that would be a pain in the butt, and that could be, what hinders people from having more completes and stuff. Having to put projects away all the time, different projects. So make sure you kind of, chat that down in the box. I definitely want to know, like, do you have a crafting room? And if so, is it divided out like that to where you have different areas that represent the craft you want? Or, is it just a room you go into, like a living room or a dining room, where you work on your crafts? So do you have a separation of those? So my last place, I had a separation. Like I had an area where I could play with the clay and stuff. And then I had an area where I could diamond paint. And when I moved here, and I've been here for just over a year, I just, never got that separation back and things. So maybe that is what I'm missing, would definitely be helpful, because it sucks to have to put stuff away as an adult. You feel like a kid all over again. And I don't want to feel like a kid. So my nut says right now I only have one whip. And for those that know me, that is not me. I usually have like 5 to 8 whips at most times. Joanna says, I have 3 whips, and I'm so pissed from now on. I do one at a time, and I finish it. Marquita says, I do for my latch hook rug and one, okay, for my diamond painting. And she has an organized bag. I love an organized bag, ready to go, boom. Joanna says, I need to focus on one at a time. Mona says, I swap out between diamond painting or coloring. My craft space is about 5 by 10 in my bedroom. Joanna says, yeah, I feel like a kid too. I do. When I have to switch, I'm like, dang, and it just leaves me feeling like, I'm an adult that crafts, and I can appreciate crafts. It's great to be an adult that crafts, because you now have the funds to support your creativity and your fun. Hi, Sobo. How are you this evening? But now you have, as an adult, you have the opportunity to support your creativity. And what a great time, if you are a creative person, to get into exploring different, craft opportunities, different craft options and stuff. What I like about diamond painting is more and more people are venturing out to customize the painting in the way that they see fit. A lot more people say, no, I don't see a pink hat. I see, a flower inside, a wild bed of hair or something. And they are taking those opportunities to customize something in the way that they see fit and making it their own. I'm loving seeing that kind of creativity. We talked earlier about like what your favorite craft versus what your least favorite craft is. Don't let a least favorite craft of one of us, not become your favorite craft. Again, it's all about your own creativity and just creating a space, that you can explore, where, it's not just a center or core piece for you, but it's a place that, makes you not only feel safe, but it makes you feel empowered and happy. So, your next day is full of, what, I can't wait to get back to that space, because at that moment I felt great. So, that's what I feel like crafting is about. And we can embrace it. I may not be able to embrace the craft of tiny houses ever again, but don't let it stop you. You might enjoy laying electricity, thatching a roof, and checking for insulation in tiny spaces. So don't let it be, it not being a favorite of mine, kind of keep you from doing something. um, Oh, the custom I ordered this weekend is so special. It's long suffering in me and the dogs. It's gonna be cute. I love customs also. Definitely, thinking about getting back in. If you guys are ordering customs, especially, portraits and things, where is your go-to to order a custom for a diamond painting? And also, do they offer it in anything else? Like I know some custom diamond paintings, they can also become paint by numbers. So somebody is trying to get into oils versus acrylics and tempera. That's a great way to do it. Start off with a custom of family member or seed. That would be awesome. Marquita says, I have one spot that I do my crafting in my bedroom. I just finished one at a time, and then I go on to the next. So no whips, no 7 whips, no 12 whips for you. You are a one by oneer, and there's nothing wrong with that. Soulful says, I've been fighting the monthly curse, dizzy, tired, nausea, headache all day. That could also be menopause. You don't want to know how I've been suffering especially this last week. And so that could be menopause. I'm just playing. Matna says, I have a custom of my channel logo and it's from Temu. What? You getting customs done on Temu? Oh my, now that's exciting to hear. I definitely am going to go check that out. Linda, how are you? Linda says, I have a craft room, a sewing desk on one side, and a desk for diamond painting on the other side. There is a painting on the sewing table now. I got 2 others I rotate to do when I'm on the couch. Is the couch in your craft room, or is this like something you'll go and you'll sit with the family? That's the other thing. Like prior to my daughter trying to help fix up a craft room for me, I would just do stuff in here and move stuff around. And I found that I was taking over spots in the family room as well. Now, the family room in the living room. Okay. So, the family room, I call that Prince's living room, my son. Because when he have company, that's where he is. And we did have a spare bedroom. In the spare bedroom, obviously it had a day bed in there and a TV and things. So if Prince had company, we'd just go in there and watch TV. It's on the other side of the house. So being lazy as I am, I don't get to that side much. Like I said, I was being lazy. And in any event, that is now the craft room, my craft studio. So I do get up every day and I make it a point to go in there. I'm making sure because I have my own bathroom and everything down the hall. And so I make sure, that I'm doing a little waddling, and I take something from here in there when I go in so that I'm slowly but surely setting it up and making it my own. um, and Mutna says, I'm not sure when I'm going to work on it. I got it in the square. Okay. Square, I love, right now I have enough diamond paintings to last until the new millennia. And I believe that's what, 21 something, 22 something, I think, because the new millennia, we're in the current millennia. Yeah, so that's 22 something. I do have a lot of diamond paintings. I know that they probably won't ever all get done. And I don't work on diamond paintings enough to even put a dent in them. But I do, again, defending, my mentality of why I have them is I think they're beautiful artwork. And I can look at them and I can envision the customization that I would put on them. But they make me happy looking at them and shopping my own stash and stuff. So, okay. The next one from Soulful says she been hopping between diamond painting granny square blanket, paint by number, and amigurumi plushies. Now that is a particular type of crochet that is used to bake the kind of stuff. They are so cute. So look at that. Paint by number is something I haven't seen. It was coming out. It would look like it was gonna maybe catch on, and it just kind of fizzled. But paint by number is something that when I see like watercolors and things like that, and how pretty scenes that you can make, with them, then I always want to know what that would look like. That same canvas in a paint by number and stuff. So I would love to see more artistry from that. I don't know if acrylic would be better. A lot of them were acrylic, or if oil paint, which takes forever to dry, would be better when it came to, paint by number. But ultimately, I would love to see how more people were able to kind of fuse that into like our crafting and things. So maybe you never know. Now, I know if you were a Treasure Studio Arts affiliate a few years ago, many of us got the opportunity behind the scenes to try and work on one. For me, they are a little more time consuming than diamond painting. And so, what I would recommend is starting small. So, a 40 by 50 or 80 by 60, that's going to take a little bit longer because not only are you spreading the paint and things like that, but you're wanting to definitely be observant of like tiny areas and tiny lines and stuff. You definitely don't want to butt up too far outside of the line, but you also want to give the colors just a natural way to kind of fuse together. And that was something that was hard to practice, even though it talked about it, in the description box of the brushes and things that we had. Like, I don't know what button up a color against another color mean, Well, I mean, I guess you could, in essence, figure it out from how I just said it. But the way I read it was like, what? So, that's me. So this week, I know, I've been asking, did anybody shop? Anybody take advantage of any of the sales? I heard Mutnut indicate she is on a no buy. A no buy? What's a no buy? So I'm going to just jump in here. I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to share the screen. Hold on one second. What I'm trying to do is, the what's in your cart. I don't really have a lot in my cart, but we're going to shop. We're going to do some shopping. This is this week's new arrivals. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. And definitely it's from Dreamer Designs. And you guys know the why. I am a affiliate. So we're going to start with Dreamer Designs. This just came out. This is 60 by 80, 63 colors, 3 ABs, 1 crystal. I was trying to make it big. Oh, here it is. All righty. We'll go back so you guys can see. Here is the rendering. And I do like to observe the rendering, kind of see. I like to see if you can see like what the items are and things. And then here is the actual canvas. So this one is called the Gothic Library. Moving over to the next one. This is gorgeous. Rainbow Phoenix. Rainbow Phoenix. This one right here, look at that rendering. I just think that is gorgeous. This has 65 colors, but only 3 ABs and 3 crystal drills. Like, that is so shocking to me. I think that you could really, like, really enhance this. This would be like right here, coming down here through this light, trying to find some globies going behind here, showing some power behind this. This is gorgeous. Look at the roots. You can see the roots of the trees, different color. This is a really gorgeous canvas. And I mean, there's just so many bling opportunities here. Oh my. And the artist, Tabs Jones, phenomenal. Great job. Great job. I love that. Let's see. Cutie pie here, red blossom. Let's see what's coming up. And let's see what everybody's saying. Bonnie says, I wanted the Peggy Collins and the Castle one from Diamond Art Club. And I got cart snatched twice, so I didn't buy anything. What's cart snatched? I love that Rainbow Phoenix at Dreamers. Mary bought 9. Uh-oh. Linda says, made my first order from Mystical Dream. Man, I have like, I think I got 3. I think they had buy 3, get 2 free going on over the weekend. Mystical Dream Diamond. I had, I think, 3, and I couldn't find 2 more that I thought, I would want to have, just even in a collection and stuff. So it sucks. I say no buy, then charge. Dreamers is killing it lately. Yes, they are. So if you guys do see something you like on Dreamer Design, don't forget to type in TIA15 as your discount code. Now, if they already offer 15%, why not type in TIA15? If they're not offering anything, then type in TIA15. The only time that you don't want to type in TIA15 is if the discount amounts to more than 20%. So even when you see like buy one, get one, check it out. See, add up everything divided by 2. Does that, are you paying more than that? Then, work. You can even reach out to me and I'll help do the math on that one. But it's sounding to me like TIA15 is always the way to go. Um, just helping you guys out with your shopping and the what's in your cart. Oh, wait, add 5 more. Mary bought 5 more after the 9. Oh, my. That one is perfect for the Phoenix Fantasy event coming up in May. I agree. So if you guys are going to join that or you don't have anything ready, make sure that you pull that out. I have a daft table and I have a latch hook frame in my bedroom. Look at that. Okay, that's cute. That is the deal I got. I do have a draft table and a latch hook. Oh, Marquita has the same thing. All right, so look at that. All right, now back over. Let's see. This one right here, 58 colors. Wow, I would not have said that. This one right here, these white, and I know it's hard because the doggy is dark, but sometimes when you see these guidelines and they're supposed to represent, it is very hard for, I think it's like too much. See, it's real thin over here, but because, it's actual photo, it doesn't come off as dramatic as these guidelines do. That's the only thing, I critique. I found myself critiquing those a lot in certain diamond paintings and stuff. And it's just, for me, I think it just means that you got to go larger and things. So if you are into landscapes and architecture, definitely this is a 70 by 60. We're getting up there, in size, 65 colors, 1 AB, 1 crystal. I like landscape, but I also like to be able to see water and observe actual landscaping. So for me, this is just specific to architecture. And for me, with architecture, I like to see landscape, some sort of background. So if there was mountains off over here in the background, and then maybe like water, you're looking out through to water, that might change it for me. But I do like to observe, just those differences. But this is gorgeous. You can definitely see the detail in the flowers. And that's something that I'm looking at when I do look at artwork. You can see perspective. So they did a great job. Definitely, definitely. Moving over from there back to what's in your cart or new arrivals. This one right here, I just obviously you guys know my sister Rebecca. She loves gnomes. So anytime I see something gnomey, sorry about that, something gnomey, I think about her. 61 colors, 3 ABs, 2 crystals. This is really cute. Definitely. And let's see it in a rendering. I love it when a rendering is like just spot on to the actual painting itself. And I feel like they did a good job. This rendering is great. You can see the mountains in the background. I love that there's some power behind. It looks like there might be some glow, so there's some power behind the hat, probably from the sunlight coming through the bushes. I like that. All right. All right now. Now, I know everybody was talking about DAC. It says, I just unboxed the Guardian. He's so beautiful. That girl, big lion in the sky. Oh, we need a gnome intervention with that girl. Yeah, we definitely. She loves gnomes. So, all right, we gonna move over from here to Diamond Art Club. Diamond Art. Diamond Art Club. Hopefully, you guys are seeing this. We're gonna go with their new arrivals. See if we have to have them listed a certain. No, we'll go with grid, but let's see. Alrighty. I'm pretty sure I just need to hit new arrivals and not filter. All right, we'll go from here. There were 2 mystery kits, 79 and 80. One was ocean, one was landscape. Um, move over here. View of the Eiffel Tower from the window. I do like these. I just what goes on in the window sills are sometimes very busy. And when it's too busy, is it easy to capture? Because this is supposed to be the focal point. So let's check and see. This is a great rendering. You can see everything and it doesn't look busy. You can even see with clarity the pattern on the wall. Now, I'm not fond of a purple wall. I probably definitely would change that out. But even the focal point off in the distance, you can definitely see that. It looks like some unicorns, Pegasus flying around the Eiffel Tower. That's cute. But that's definitely a good rendering. I definitely would be interested in that. Yeah. So this right here, 61 colors, 2 Aurora Borealis. The reason it's such a beautiful rendering is because it's a 102 by 69. So it's huge. Definitely. And it is square. So it's big, and that's why you're able to get the definition that you're able to get. This one finished would probably, oh, those are seagulls. Ooh, I had to zoom in on those. I don't know if the render is showing. Let's see. Yeah, you can't see. I didn't think so. All righty. So let's see what else. We had a colorful floral owl. 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 I hit it right there. All righty. And let's see the rendering. All right, Diamond Art Club. That came out nice. Wow. That is, I can see right here in this round circular trellis. I can definitely see like adding some bling and sparkle to that. Obviously, this is what, a sunset or something. There's sun behind. I could see that. These little new whatever these are coming off, I would highlight those. Great opportunities to bling here. This one is good looking. I like that a lot. Uh-oh. Now this is cute. Dragon Love. Hey. This is a 90 by 70. That's a huge painting. Definitely huge. It's got to be huge because you could definitely see this is a rendering and there are some beautiful details that are not missed. I like this one a lot. I like this one a lot. Again, definitely some opportunities here. It says 55 colors, 1 AB, and 5 fairy dust. I think we could have done a little bit better even there. Nail polish. Okay. I'm not sure why these are transparent, but they are. So I don't know if that means they're little, ghosts. Let's see how they were able to. So that's a good rendering. They literally just put like a white line around it and maybe one or two hues off. But that's a really good rendering. But it is the 65 by 91. So the canvases are getting a lot larger. A 58 diamonds, 2 AB, and 2 fairy dust. Um, Obviously the hat, some of her tattoo work and things like that. Even some of maybe to add texture and things like that. I see opportunities to kind of either enhance. And enhance means that you can always dull a diamond out. So what I would use crystals for these. No sparklers, nothing that's too brilliant, but something that sets this out and that kind of pulls away and diffracts the light. I think I would use crystals to kind of set this artwork off a little bit. It looks like it's a cloudy, dull color, and I probably would take it down a notch even more, but make it kind of smooth, almost like how onyx is, by putting in a crystal. I mean, a crystal diamond. So not too bad, not too bad. What about you guys? Let's see. Um, I think I saw that. Yep. Team Gnome, love gnomes. We see. You want the Yume, but she's out of stock. Yume is almost always out of stock. Anything Yume arts. I did buy the cat chef. I think it's Ratatouille, but this snarky cat made me giggle. Got that one. Love her tattoos. Okay. I got a custom made from Dreamer Designs. Definitely let us know how that comes out, Marquita. I've definitely been, telling people, obviously, I'm an affiliate, but I've never, I've only had other people order a custom on my behalf. So I did an event, a mystery diamond painting event that's hosted by Rebecca about 5 years ago when it first started. I think it was their second one. And the person I was partnered up with, she ended up getting a custom of her, I believe it was her horse farm with her horses. She loved horses, and she got the custom made for me. And I thought that was beautiful. Although I don't have a horse farm. I do like horses. So I think that was a way for us to connect. She was, purchasing something that was near and dear to her heart, and it was a way for us to both connect so that while I was working on the canvas, she was on my mind and things like that. So I thought that was a beautiful way to connect with new people and get to know them. Let's see. This one has 90 colors, 2 ABs, 5 fairy dust. 90 colors is a lot of colors, if you ask me. So this right here has to be really, really defined when it comes to the rent. I thought so. So that's 90 colors, and this thing is 93 by 69. So 93 by 70. That's a lot. That's definitely a lot. Obviously, again, the canvases are getting larger if you want the details in them, that the photo or the original painting might show. So if you want those details, unfortunately, the canvas is going to be larger, and it's going to be larger so that you're able to see the details. It's able to be zoomed in, and with your discerning eye, it doesn't look milky, and it doesn't look pixelated or digitized when you go to look at the canvas. Some of the smaller canvases, although they are trying to pull from that photo, the unfortunate part is, or that proof or print, whatever they may call it, when it's trying to pull from there, it's still just it's still just blurry, unfortunately, and that's because the size that you're rendering it over to, it's just too small to give it the detail it needs for the size diamonds or drills that, depending on what you call them, may be used. So it's always a good idea to kind of keep that in mind. If it's a lot of detail and not as much color blocking, you're probably going to want to go larger. So better landscapes tend to be larger. When it comes to smaller diamond paintings, you're going to want to see a lot of color blocking and things like that, because you can kind of fit those into, smaller areas and not lose the detail. So it's not blurry and things. So definitely keep that in mind, especially if you're new to diamond painting and selecting the paintings. Right now, everything is gauche. Ooh, it's so cute, and especially if you came along and you happen to be someone like, my boy Man Bun. He happened along at a time where I was diamond painting Diamond Art Club, and there was two other people at our job that diamond paint, and we all were ordering from Diamond Art Club. Not very many people start their diamond painting journey with Diamond Art Club. They ascend to Diamond Art Club. So he started Diamond Art Club and has never kind of shopped anywhere really else unless it was a gift from someone, because he heard horror stories and things. So if you're new here, the information I just bestowed was helpful, unless you just happen to start your journey, already, having ascended to the top. Other than that, it's been a great night. Just kind of chit chatting, jibber jabbing with everybody, kind of going over some shopping and, talking about various crafts, why we do them, well, why I do them, and why you'll probably have limited completions from me. But I thank everybody. About to head on out. It's been an hour, and I thank you all for coming, for communicating and things like that. Remember, hashtag SplishSplashSpringBash 2025. That is going to be kicking off, where I'm going to be hosting, as well as I've invited Lizzie back to co-host another year of Splish Splash Spring Bash. She does not like the name. She thinks it's too long. So we're going to have fun. Think fun, beachy, sunshine, Oak Ridge, and Beach Boys, Oak Ridge, the country music, just going to have a good time, in other words. Now the rules, I don't like to have a lot of little rules and things like that. We are going to have giveaways from Captured by Radiance. We already have the gift cards. There will be one every week. We do have a collab pin known as hashtag SplishSplashSpringBash. So we will be giving away, I believe it's 2 pins. No trays. We don't have any trays this year. Last year for this event, we also had trays. We are always, because I am sparkler friendly, we do have, the gift cards that we are giving out to DP with sparklers, as well as gift cards to Crafts with Crashly, so that you can get all of your tools, your bling, you can get your release papers. You'll definitely be able to buy diamond painting, as well as You guys know I'm a Dreamer Designs affiliate, and we do have a grand prize Dreamer Designs gift card. So there will be some fun to be had. That does start April 1st. You'll hear about it a little bit more. Lizzie will also be mentioning it. But if you guys have participated in any event before, definitely come out, go to the Facebook page, and make sure that you guys just having some fun. We definitely appreciate when everybody's coming out. I'm here in town now. And so before, during Love is in the Air, it was very difficult. I had horrible internet. I was in another country. And I just had horrible internet. I could barely keep up and see people's, responses. And I was gone, I think 12 to 13 days. It was a lengthy part of the month. And so it didn't matter. And I didn't think it would, but it did. And it affected things, made me slow behind the draw on a lot of things also. And then trying to recover once I got back, being back, just being back from being gone for so long. So with that said, this one right here, I do plan for it to go a lot smoother. You will see weekly videos. A lot of people missed those, and they were like, hey, we miss seeing your face, your videos. So obviously that will be back. And I'm going to just have some fun, bringing in spring and, beachy vibes, seeing what everybody's doing. Did you have a spring break in your area yet? Are you going away for spring break? What's going on in your neck of the woods? When you're on break, what are you going to do? Are you going to craft? You're taking your craft with you? And that's amazing. We got a lot of crafting done, taking our craft with us. Or are you going to take advantage, if you do go away, of just, local life and opportunities and excursions there? Let me know. You guys can answer, either down in chat or come back and answer in the box afterwards. But I look forward to everybody kind of hanging out and enjoying hashtag Splish Splash Spring Bash 2025 along with Lizzie. What canvas would qualify? Anything that's spring-like in nature, beachy, fun. It can just be fun. So those are, the vibes I'm going for. Spring, beachy, or fun. I think that gives you a lot of leeway. Good night. Oh, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you next week.